In 4 minutes, we'll be having the interview with Woman International Master Anna Kantane, and we'll be talking about chess. Chess world, chess community, and chess events and activities from different perspectives. How chess community works and why it grows, why chess becomes popular and expands online, chess events, commentary, collabs, and coaching, women change and integrate chess community, how can we support women and kids at chess, streaming, YouTube, podcasts, and other media. Therefore, this will be the general topics that we'll be addressing step by step, and I hope you will like it. Let me know, guys, if you are ready. Guys, we are having a special guest, this time our friend, former Polish chess player, Woman International Master Anna Kantane. And we'll be having her ask many various questions for at least 60 to 70 minutes, because Anna is very busy. Therefore, let's get started. How are you today?
Thank you for having me, first of all. Thank you for this, introducing me. And actually, it was a little bit funny how you introduced me, former Polish chess player.
Yes, we'll be talking in a moment why former. But
I feel old.
No. It's not about the age. It's rather about the transformation or changing into the country, into the other systems and so on. But we will be talking about it. But first, let's get started. How did you get into chess? When you started playing chess, get us a little bit insight.
All right. Yeah. So, it was really accidental. It was totally unplanned because nobody in my family has ever played chess. So I think my parents knew the rules, but nothing beyond that. And it was simply that I have two older brothers and my parents needed to do something with us. You cannot sit with 3 kids at home all the time because it will go crazy. Mm-hmm. And so they just found some extra activities for us. And I was going, I was not attending chess classes. It was my brother who was attending chess classes. And simply some dancing, singing kind of things were finishing a bit earlier. And so I was going and watching, I think first from kind of like behind like windows or something. And then I was just going also to see in the class how his kind of last 30 minutes of his chess class is going. And I fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. And then when I was too big for this other class, I simply asked my parents if I could attend chess because I really loved the atmosphere there. Mm-hmm. And so, I just started somehow like this, completely accidentally, as I said. And I really loved it from the very start. So yeah, that was the beginning.
Okay, thank you very much. And what attracted you to chess? What was so special at chess that took your attention, so to speak?
Yeah, this will be also something that I think is a crucial part. And I know that you have prepared some things about talking about how we should approach kids and so on. And I think that was the case for me because I simply love the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And, the coach there on this chess group, he was like old, kind of a grandpa kind mm-hmm. of figure. And he just was so fun. And he was also allowing us to do some crazy things. So for a while, he was showing us some fun games. And then he was basically leaving us. Mm-hmm. He was going to chat with the parents, which is unheard of nowadays. Yeah. Just in the corridor. And we were just going crazy there with the pieces, just having fun. Also a little bit like throwing them around. I don't know. It was too much, I guess. But we loved it. We had fun. And another thing he was doing, he was organizing chess tournaments. And everybody, he was calling those tournaments, I guess we can just say chocolate tournaments. Mm-hmm. Every participant, no matter the result, gets a chocolate.
Very sweet, very sweet.
Yes, and there was like no pressure because everybody gets it, no matter if you're first or last. And so we were simply taught to enjoy the game. And that was the thing, and that was always a priority. Just have fun with each other because we had this really lovely group. Mm-hmm. So we were having fun with each other. But guys, the interesting thing is that in this group, it was not even a chess club. It was just like activity center for kids. Mm-hmm. We have those in Poland. I don't know if that's the case in other countries.
City centers, probably, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even like a chess place. It was just a place where really parents just put their kids to not take care of them for an hour or two. And I got quite a good career. I'm happy about my career, but we also have a grandmaster coming from this group. So, I think this approach worked pretty well, and a couple of other people who had medals in national championships. So, yeah, it was a very, very good beginning. And yeah, I think everybody should have such beginnings. So just a very positive one for me.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. And if you get into the chess career, because this is one of the questions that I am very curious about your chess career, tell us a little bit about your chess career as a player, especially as the player.
Oh, well, I've been playing chess for 20 years. So, I mean, now more if you count last couple of years, but I haven't really been an active player. But since I started like at 5, I was really actively playing. So my parents were really supportive, and I got a very professional coach already when I was 7 years old. And then for those years, I really loved to play. I really enjoyed training as well, which was probably very different than other people.
By the way, if I can ask, did you have the private sessions or the sessions in the club, if I may ask?
Yeah, of course you can ask. I'll tell you everything. No secrets there. I'll tell you exactly. I had 6 hours with the coach at home.
Wow.
Every week. Oh. So those are 2 sessions, 3 hours. I somehow remember it. I don't know why, because we don't talk about it really with my parents, but somehow got stuck in my head. And it was a really good coach as well. He's still a coach in Wrocław, in my hometown. And also, yeah, and when I was around 7 or 7.5, it doesn't really matter. My parents, they hired like a more professional coach. He was from abroad, and he would come every month for some 2-3 days. And then we would have like intense training sessions. Yeah. And then the next thing was playing a lot of tournaments, which I think is the most important thing. It's crucial. You need to have the experience because, without it, it's just really hard. Especially if you play like one tournament in like 4 months, it's just difficult, and it might, not go well, because chess is hard. Chess is a very brutal game, so it might not go well, and then you are sad for the next 4 months, So, and your kind of self-esteem might also be in a lower point. So playing a lot. So those would be three, those pillars of what helped me. And the 4th one that I really worked hard myself. So my dad was kind of helping out, but I really liked it as well. So altogether, it was a lot, I guess. But yeah, as I said, it was long. So I don't know if you have some specific question about this chess career topic.
I'm especially curious because, of course, you may be probably getting us way more than that, but especially curious about the Polish and European events, especially individual and team ones. If you have some kind of medals, some kind of achievements that you would like to tell us about.
Oh, I'm very careful with achievements because this is a slippery kind of thing when people hear. And I think in general, we are pretty focused on achievements, especially the parents, they are. And I am a parent myself now. I have a kid who is 8 years old. And I think that should not be really your first focus, the achievements. So this is why somehow I'm trying to be careful not to look only at that, but main thing is enjoyment. For me, it was thanks to a huge support of my parents, of course. I was able to go for those European and world events. And I got my... Back then it was different. You could get a LOFIDE rating only from 1800. Now we know there is from the very beginning, from the 1000. Maybe there are some changes now.
Maybe I'll just add one point. I am that old that if you would like to get to the FIDE list, you needed to have at least 2200.
I remember one of my coaches. Yeah, he was also. So it's fine, but. Yeah, so it was 1800, and I was 10 years old. I got this first FIDE rating. And it was already 1865, so I remember it. Also some special number, and I was 5th in the world or something like this. So that also allowed me to kind of be a little bit kind of you have a bigger support if you get those kind of achievements. And then I went for the Polish championship. I had this 1st or 2nd number. I don't remember because there was another girl who was also extremely good. and I didn't get a medal. And it was like punch in my face a little bit, because I thought I am so good already, you know, I got this high rating, I go for Polish championships, I should win or be second. That's like the worst. And I didn't get a medal, and it was good for me, you know. It's like sometimes you need this cold shower to work harder. But my parents still were very supportive. They did send me for the World Championship, and I got the medal there. I got a medal there at the age of 10. So that was my first very big success. It was a bronze medal. Still, actually, I was very sad about it because I lost the last round. And even a draw gave me a gold medal, which is, of course, different. But it was my first big success. And that was, again, a very big boost to my career, because you get some support from the club or from the city and so on. So, you know, this is very important, because I think there are a lot of kids with huge potential, but they just don't get the support. They, you know, and they might not have parents who can simply afford such, also such step like sending for to the World Championship. So I just want to always emphasize that there are a lot of great kids, you know. So yeah, later I got second place in Junior European Championship as well. So that was a very important thing as well. And later, yeah, I didn't get many medals in individual tournaments, just some, you know, top 5, top 6, but I somehow didn't get the medals. But that's okay. And as a Polish team, we are usually quite strong in all the team youth events. So we got some medal in European team, and I got some medals for individual in team events. So yeah, I had a couple of very good results here and there. And I finished my junior career, I guess we can say, when I was 19. It was my last, because yeah, there are still those under 20. And so those were my last World Championship, and I was 5th or 6th. But still, it was a very good result. I played with Goriachkina there, you know, who is now one of the best players in the world. And with a couple of other girls who are now like really top. And it was in India. So now, you know, India is such a powerhouse. So that was my, really the last junior event.
Thank you very much. And we'll be having and addressing the questions from the chat once in a while. The first question is from Sebastian. He asked about the advice. What kind of advice would you give based on your experience for the players to manage the, let's say, tough losses, if I can say, of not obtaining good results?
Yeah, I think it's really important to not have very little amount of classical tournaments, unless you don't mean about the classical ones. I wouldn't say that you should worry too much about your blitz results at all. For sure not, you know, till the point of being an advanced player, because blitz is kind of random, right? So if you want to increase your level, you should play more serious chess to really get good feeling about chess. And later, if you really have a good intuition, you can play blitz, because this is what blitz is about. But I think just playing a lot, because as I mentioned before, if you have this one tournament in a couple of months, it's like a little bit random, because in one tournament there are so many factors in chess that affect your game. You can you know, have a little bit bad luck in one game. Really, it happens. It's not just some excuse. It can somehow happen, like you're not unlucky with the preparation, you might not feel well, just so many factors. So I think just playing a lot is important, and keep kind of focusing on what you can learn from those games, because if we only look at the results, you know, some players even have like couple of months of bad results, but it doesn't mean that they are suddenly worse. Again, so many factors need to come together in chess. So it can even be that you work a lot on something, let's say random thing, openings, and suddenly your results are getting worse actually. But why is that? Because you put so much work in this one thing, but maybe other things are now a little bit neglected, and you just have to put it together, you know, and then suddenly everything will jump forward. I also had this, actually it was already like 2100 or 2150, and I started blundering extremely easy tactics. We could say like 1-2 move tactics, and a lot. It wasn't 1 or 2 games, and I remember I was talking, it was not even my coach, but I was already so desperate that I was just asking anybody for the advice, you know, and I was saying like, what is going on? It's few months, I am not so bad, I'm 21, 2150, those are like fifth, fourth category tactic, like what do I do? And you know, you can get like a little bit upset, and of course you will if you care, but I guess you gotta trust the process. You just maybe sometimes have to even rest a little bit. It depends, you know, what you do. So every situation is totally different. If you work too much, maybe work a little less. If you worked on one thing too much, maybe you need to remember about the other things and just always be very, well, try at least to stay very positive, I think. So as Sebastian asked on my past experience, when I had this blunder, you know, period, I wasn't entirely positive, but I kind of tried to speak to people, and then I just started to solve very easy tactics, you know, and you just kind of sometimes have to get back to the basics and realize, okay, this is maybe, I am not too good for that, you know?
Maybe I just skip it too quickly, right?
Okay, no, those are, you know, like really too easy tactics, but just sometimes focusing on some huge, very advanced stuff.
Deep concepts.
You're starting to think, too deep, looking at the position straight away, thinking about strategical ideas, what I can do here, there, and you forget about, oh, maybe I should just check if something is hanging, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that your level is decreasing. You just have to put it all together, and it's gonna come together. Just maybe, if you see something is off, just pay attention to that, work on that a little bit. Don't take it too seriously, and should be fine.
Okay, thank you very much. And another question, because you are pretty long in the chess community, if you can give us, from your perspective, how chess community works and why it grows, especially the recent years, from your perspective.
Well, in recent years, of course, it grows mainly because of the online chess, right? So, and online chess, it's been, you know, for a while, but we have content creators who make it so fun and who make it really possible for anybody to learn also, because you don't really need to buy books nowadays. You can actually go to YouTube and study a lot for free, and they make it fun, you know, so it's fun, it's accessible, everybody can play, and we see that more and more people play. We see those famous people also posting pictures on Instagram or Twitter and so on, so we see that they play, and so it becomes just more cool, and this is why it grows, and it is really a fun game that everybody can play. So, you know, all the chess promoters always say that no matter if you are young or old, you can play it. But that's the case, you know, and you can really play with everyone, and it's cheap. Online, it's like really cheap. We don't even need chess. So this is why I think it grows. I don't know what's your view on that, but you know, it probably simply becomes more accessible. But really, I believe thanks to those amazing content creators who showed that you don't have to be special, you don't have to be super smart, you can just really start and play.
And are you surprised about the speed of growing the chess in the last years, let's say last 3 years, due to the, let's say, Queen's Gambit serial, and especially all of this boom on the league chess and chess.com servers? Are you surprised by that? Because recently, because you are, let's say, the same years as I was in a chess community, back then it was something like that if you play chess, you are some like a little bit like stranger, right? But nowadays I'm like, oh, you play chess? Great, I play chess too, right? Some like a change in the mindset. Did you notice that?
Actually, my experience has always been pretty positive, you know, so kids were, even at school, you know, maybe they were laughing at me because I'm a redhead, so they just left me alone because I'm playing chess, you know, so playing chess wasn't so special. And actually, you know, really my friends, and even not like friends, but just classmates with whom I was not that close, they were quite excited because I was going for those tournaments, and I was gone almost like half of the year. I was not attending school. There was actually one September that I didn't come to a single class because I was gone. We start school in Poland in September, so I was just gone whole month, and I only came like in October. So they were thinking, oh, you have such a cool life because you don't go to school. So for me it was more this way. But of course, Now it's, as you said, you kind of are cool when you play chess, but again, I think it's thanks to all those content creators that they are cool, and this is how the popularity nowadays on social media, that's how it happens. If I am surprised, I guess I'm okay naturally, and maybe we were all very focused, 3 years ago on other happenings, so we were somehow just focusing on surviving basically, and then it happened and it was just super positive. So I guess I am a little bit surprised, and also that it still continues, because it really continues. It didn't slow down, so maybe this is a surprising factor, that it really didn't slow down. It continues. So I'm just super happy. So that's great. Slightly surprised for sure. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's get a little bit into chess, as you just mentioned, into the online, let's say, stratosphere, because you are as a coach, and at the same time, if I am correct, you have the chess school, chess queen school, right? You just run some kind of, let's say, type of, let's say, activities, and you help others to become better. Can you give us a little bit insight about chess queen school?
Well, it started just, okay, so yeah, as I said, I am a chess coach. I have done my coaching course right after I finished high school, so immediately, and I always loved actually teaching, and maybe too much. I guess I like it more than playing nowadays. And so it started just like, fun activity, but also wanting just to make my own living, because at the 19, I need to also earn some money. So, but yeah, it was always a fun thing. I also worked in some kindergartens actually for a few years, and later, this idea of the school together with my friends, it was, we were kind of talking about it always, going for tournaments and also for the training camps. And in one of those training camp places, it's like Olympic center for it was for all the sports, not only for chess, for all the sports. So we were going to this Olympic center, and we could see many, like all the great Polish athletes, coming there. But actually, a volleyball, there was a volleyball school actually where they have, I think, high school, and those kids are just living there. And we were thinking, oh, this is such a dream. If we had it for chess, and then we were thinking, okay, we don't have it, but how cool would it be to sometimes create such a place? So, those are all just talks of teenage girls. And then, okay, of course, it was not really easy, and we all went our way, but then we thought maybe online we could at least create some group classes. And so that's how this started. And I was the one to really go for it. I actually, I had a very difficult moment in my personal life, and this is what pushed me. Okay, so let's just do it. I needed some distraction as well. So at the beginning it was going fine, but actually later, I will be honest with you, it was difficult to manage all us because we all have like families and so on. So, and then somehow step by step, we decided that it will be better if everybody just does their own thing. So this is now my school, and I lead some group classes, which I think is a great thing in general. And because, not everyone can afford individual coach, and also in the group classes, there is some certain element of motivation because you can have your mates who you see is solving the puzzle faster than you, so you also want to, you also want to solve it. And so it's a very nice kind of solution, I think, for some people. Some people also attend individual and also group, so it's a nice mix. I think this is the best one. So yeah, but it's all online. Unfortunately, I think I really like contact with people, but I live in Latvia, but I have classes. Those group classes are, it's a Polish school, so those are with my Polish students, but I still get to see them sometimes on some tournaments.
Okay, thank you very much. And if I get a little bit of this question into this topic, because we'll be summing up, let's say, this part as well, what range of players do you coach? Is there some like the players from the beginning up to the intermediate level, maybe the advanced level? What is the range of players that you help?
Well, it's usually not the very beginning, so I don't really teach the rules. As I said, I used to teach in kindergartens and so on, but I think, yeah, this is not like very fun for me. And still, if you have like direct contact, then it's different, and with small kids as well for me. But online, I yeah, I don't teach from the start, and with the kids, I don't even think that's a good idea to have when they are small an online coach. So unless there is no choice, I also try to not work with very small kids, because I always tell to the parents it's better if you have an opportunity to find a coach, who can have face-to-face classes. So yeah, usually not the beginning, but pretty early, I don't really know what even that rating is, but as soon as somebody starts the basics and they know already, then I already teach them, and more or less to some 2000 level, maybe 20, a bit over, depends how our cooperation goes. But usually that's kind of limit.
Okay,
unwritten limit.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's get into the topic about chess events, commentary and coaching, because you just mentioned a little bit about coaching, but we know that there are a lot of events recently, especially due to the, let's say, pandemic, due to the boom of the chess online stuff, due to the Queen's Gambit series. And at the same time, there is some kind of, let's say, growth for the demand for the commentators. And you are the commentator yourself as well. And therefore, if you can give us a little bit insight, how did you become the commentator, and what is the work of the commentator? How the, let's say, the daily life of the commentator looks like?
It's funny because this also happened by accident, and
there are a lot of accidents.
Yes, a lot on in my life, a lot. But I saw today on Instagram, some of my friends posted something like, I don't remember exactly, so maybe it's not word to word, but you're just 1 yes away from changing your life, something like this. So it was similar. Łukasz Turlej, who is also very important person in FIDE, vice president, I think, still currently in FIDE, and a great organizer of many events in Poland. He just asked me, he was organizing this academic world championship in Poland, and I was going there just for fun to meet my friends.
Wow.
And he just, one of the commentators got sick, and he asked me, well, could you do the commentary? And I was like, yes. And so that was the start. And because he simply knew that I feel quite confident in English, and I do know something about chess, but I don't play in the tournament. So that was just, as we said, an accident. And then I cooperated with Łukasz on some events. As I said, he organizes many of them. You guys probably have seen some of the European championships, Blitz and Rapid, even last December, that was held in Poland. But most recently, in July, I was actually in the Women's World Championship match as a press officer. So that was for sure the biggest, because it's,
But did you get some invitation, or somebody just recommended you? How it happened that you get into this, let's say, prestigious events to comment?
Well, I was invited. So, one of the, FIDE has, a couple of people who try to organize that, but I was invited personally by Dana Reznica-Ozola, who is she has a very difficult title to remember. So I guess it's director of the management board, or chair of the FIDE management board. And she was from the FIDE side, the main organizer of the women's World Championship match. So she called me, she invited me if I would like to join the team. So and answering to your question, how such a day looks like, it depends, but generally it depends also, because commentator is a different job and press officer, it's a different job. So just for you guys, commentators commentating on the game, and press officer afterwards asks some questions, and there are some interviews also with other guests in the meantime. For example, during the game, some important people are joining, so you have interviews. So that's a different job. And for me personally, press officer is more difficult job, because you have to really prepare for those questions. You need to know, especially if some VIP is coming. you might simply not even know before that they are coming, because those people are really busy and suddenly their schedule frees up and they come. It's a very hectic job that I didn't actually think that it's so difficult beforehand. Because it's not like you in the morning are going to receive information who is coming, what you need to prepare, and everything is good. It's very, you need to adjust very quickly. So it's more...
It may be stressful, if I understand, right?
Yeah, it's more stressful. You need to kind of act in the moment. It's very fun. And of course, I'm, very happy and honored that I was invited there. But it's different. Like commentator, I feel I am more in the zone because I just talk about what I feel like, I'm confident. You talk about the players, about chess, about maybe some psychological part, but you talk, about chess in the studio with your co-commentator. So it's kind of like a safe space. Here, you're kind of more active and doing many things, but it's very challenging in a good way. So they're different. And how a day looks like, you have to be really well rested, I think, to be able, your brain has to act really quickly in some of those moments. But yeah, for me, I was usually quite stressed. So in the evening, I couldn't sleep at all, like till 2 or 3. So in the morning, you gotta catch some sleep. You gotta prepare as well as you can, different questions, who can come about different topics, and then just go with the flow and just be kind of ready for everything that comes your way.
Okay, thank you very much. And if we can get a little bit into the world of, let's say, online, about the commentary and all of this stuff, I would like to ask you about, let's say, the chess media and chess streaming, because this is the topic that probably is now on the top. What do you think about chess streaming, being a chess content creator, and how can you manage this as the, let's say, former player, as the commentator? How can you put it all this together? Because if I correct, you recently started streaming at Twitch, correct?
Yeah, so we started streaming at the beginning of our chess school with the friends, but that was different in Polish, and now after a long thing, I started 1 month ago, actually, exactly, streaming on Twitch myself in English. Well, for me, the main issue is simply the time, because I have so many things that I would love to do, and I would like to, create some content. I would like to stream. I would like to have time for my lessons, but and then I also go for some other events. Actually, in 3 days, I'm flying to Poland for a big event, which takes time, and also you have to prepare for this event. You have other projects. Like tournaments that I do some help with marketing. So simply the day is very short, and I have my son who I also want to really spend time with, and kind of live with him through his important moments, which simply requires time. So for me, it's only the question of time. I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of ideas, but hopefully I can somehow manage.
Okay, thank you very much. And if we can get a little bit into how to, let's say, become a good content creator, what are the qualities that one should have to become good at being a chess content creator, a chess streamer? Are there any specific qualities that one should be born with? Or maybe it is something like the work that can be done to, let's say, expand on this?
Oh, it's not a question to me. You should ask Hikaru or Gotham Chess, or somebody who is actually a specialist in the field. I don't think I am. In streaming, I just started, and from what I see, well, there are different people. So I'm not sure if I can answer this question. I think it's fun to watch people who have like good energy, positive energy. But people are very different, and I think that's good. For me, as long as somebody is positive and kind of tries to stay in his specialty, in a way, we can't all know about everything. So maybe let's not talk about everything or about some things we don't know. That's not only about streamers, that's just in general how internet nowadays kind of a little bit is, that some people maybe want to be specialists in too many things. But other than that, if you're positive, then I think it just requires a lot of time. So you gotta put the work in. But other than that, yeah, I think many different streamers can be great, and that's a good thing because viewers also like different things.
Thank you very much. And our friend Van Waldhofen is the question that in general he asks how to tell if a girl is good at chess, especially, for example, the daughter or the, let's say, this kind of relatives. How to tell if the girl is pretty much young to recognize that she may be or she is good at chess. Do you have any, let's say, magical skill that you can just predict that?
Likes chess, yeah, because that's what okay, because I see the chat, guys, so I am looking at the chat kind of. Some of the things are quite long, like your questions, I didn't read it, but now I can take a quick. Also a redhead, well, perfect. Say hi to her. But 7-year-old, how can you tell? I mean, you should probably talk with her. I don't know, my son is 8 and he doesn't do chess, and but he has other passion. He trains tennis quite seriously, but it's because he loves it and he's obsessed with it. Whenever we go or when we ask what does he want to do on some free day with my husband, then he simply says, well, I want to go to the tennis court. Or we went to Canada this year for a tournament. It was my first tournament in 3.5 years, classical, and we went all together. And first thing that he wanted to do was to go to the tennis court. So you kind of see if a kid likes something. I believe if it's your child, you usually know them quite well, I hope. And then you should basically see if they like chess, if they like, well, whatever they are doing. If let's read it out. My daughter plays, knows the moves. She was going to a chess school of chess and loves going to tournament. Okay, but the problem, well, she's really active and not like others, focus only running around, and that is fine. But later she's sad because no win. Now is it an unusual thing or grow out of thing? And now I am not taking her because I don't want her to be sad because she's lost. Well, okay, so this is maybe not even if she likes chess. So I guess, first of all, it's not only about tournaments, it's probably also about the trainings. So it depends how she approaches this part. If she likes to train, I don't know, whether alone or with her coach. So that's one. And in terms of tournaments and losing, that is a difficult thing for sure. But I guess number one thing is, again, not the result. So you got to talk with your child, but it has to be realistic. If she's running around and she's not focusing and losing because of that, then well, probably you got to talk with her. Well, you are running around. That's just stating a fact. That's how I would tell to my son, you know. So if you're not thinking, you're not focusing, you might lose the game. How do you want to work on that? Do you want to keep going to the tournaments? This is how you feel comfortable? Or shall we maybe, you know, get back to the tournaments after a while and now let's just have fun training? Maybe this is the solution. But it's just very dependent on the kid. Also, a kid at 7 can have a very different maturity. So somehow, yes, try to keep it fun. It's really nice that you are asking about liking, not being good, because that's the priority. But just somehow through talking and seeing how the kid responds to training and to those different situations. But you really gotta see. This is why I always say that I prefer kids to have coaches, not online, you know, small kids, because you really usually should see the child, the facial expression, the whole body. They are very lively, as you said, at this point. They are running around and they are expressing their emotions through the whole body. So it's really good to see them, because this is a very complicated thing. But just to make you feel better, as a kid, I remember when I was small, around 7 or 8 years old, my coach was coming to me and we were doing end games, usually not the most fun thing, right? And I remember I was taking my socks off. This is a weird thing, but
socks
this was a kid. Yes, I was putting my feet on the chair. I was taking the socks off. I was playing with my socks, with my feet, with my legs, you know, and just doing some random things. But I remember those end games. I still remember those end games. So sometimes the fact that your kid is not focusing like we adults imagine doesn't necessarily mean that they are not focusing. Also, there are some books about, you know, kids focus, and you can maybe take a look at that, because I know there are some 7 or 8 different types of focus for kids. Some of them are super active, some of them less. So maybe just approach it from this also point of view that kids are very different, and maybe, yeah, somehow looking at it psychologically, but more or less.
Okay, thank you very much for this extended answer. And now let's get a little bit into the topic that is a little bit controversial, but anyway, we need to talk about it as well. What do you think about women at chess, and how can we support women? Because especially recently there was some kind of rumors about not treating women with respect, some kind of, let's say, harassment and so on, especially with the United States Chess Federation stuff. Probably you heard about it. And that's why I don't want to go into the details, but rather how we as the chess community overall can support kids, especially, let's say, on the, let's say, very beginning, from the very beginning. And if we can support women, no matter the age, if the women would like to get into, let's say, our community, what we as the community in global could do or should do to make them comfortable and to, let's say, have them enjoying the game.
Yeah, you know, this is a very complicated question, and of course a bit controversial, as you said, but of course there has been many harassment cases. I will not tell other way around, and I myself have been also approached. Well, this is a harassment, you know. I think, you know, the biggest thing is, first of all, education. Second of all, and that goes to the coaches, to the parents, you know, when we talk about the kids, of course, to the officials, because that, I believe, is still a problem. I think as in chess, we are a little bit behind. In any big company, we have all those trainings, yeah, for the employees, how to conduct yourself properly. And in chess, I don't think that's the case. So that should also be included, for example, for the arbiters, because, you know, for example, Olympiad or European Team Championship, you have a huge, it's not like a tournament where you have one or two arbiters and one organizer, so there are like 3 officials. No, those tournaments, they have hundreds of officials.
Huge event.
Yeah, so this is no joke, and those should be treated with big responsibility. Then for the coaches also, so educating, talking about it, naming it as it is. This is a harassment. This is improper behavior. So yeah, this is number one. It's lacking a little bit in chess. Also treating women when they talk about it a bit more seriously, because not only in chess but in general, very often when we talk about the harassment, it's a bit laughed at and said, oh, somebody showed an interest in you, you should be happy about it, you know. But when I go for a chess tournament, and I know I don't speak only about myself but about perspective of many different players, I don't want interest now from people. I just want to focus on my tournament, you know, and enjoy the game, and you know, hope for the best. And this interest can be kind of proper, so like normal, but it goes very often into improper, very strange behaviors. And this instantly takes the joy away from many players. And this is what we see online, women players talking about why they left the game, because it's not fun. And why is it like this? It's because because lack of education, and I think also, you know, many those things that I mentioned. But also the thing is that when women go, some women go for tournaments, they are very small percentage, right, of the players. Very, very small. The ratio is, of course, I don't know, 90 to 10 or something like this. It's gonna be
huge.
So you might not feel so comfortable, I think, if you're a minority in many, you know, situations in life. So those only women events that are that happen, they are, I think, important. I don't think they are perfect solution.
Should we let's say, create more of such women-only tournaments, or maybe different solution?
So I think they are good for now. I think a perfect situation is we have a way to attract more women, and the ratio becomes smaller, you know, and so we have more women in open events, and that, I think, is a perfect solution, you know, some dream world. But currently that's not realistic, so we have to do something that is going to simply attract more women into chess. Also, you have to create a safe environment, whether kids, women, or men as well. Just generally want to have a safe, positive environment that everybody feels just, you know, good when they go for a chess tournament. That's kind of it. And unfortunately, that's not the case yet. So training for the officials, training for the organizers, that's like, the high. But some women-only events are good because this is some way for ladies that they can simply feel they are not a minority, and they just can, have some fun with friends as well as just play chess. So this is such middle road. But of course, in a perfect world, this approach, I think that also Judith Polgar had. So she played in those, open events, and that probably gave her this just very good level. And this is what we want, right? We want to play with the best, and we want to learn. And oftentimes it's going to be playing with the male players for now. So that is something we should strive for, but in a better conditions that are not yet so realistic, not immediately. So just getting more girls into chess, more female coaches, I think also would be a great thing, because girls, I mean, it's becoming more and more, but this was also idea of my school, that we have only female coaches. So it's like a little bit, overdoing it, but just to make a point and just to attract a little bit to this. So I think female coaches, just female organizers, it's going to a bit better. It's improving, but still some things are not certain about this harassment as well. There is, even if somebody is harassed, it's very difficult to report it still. There are no official channels.
There are no procedures, if I understood right?
Yes, not yet. So it's been worked on, but again, we are, it's a bit late. So it has to be done, so that even if something is wrong, that you can, simply act on it, and it's going to be somehow answered properly. So it's very serious topic, I think, because even one of my coaches, and it was in Poland, actually recently quite loudly talked about, because one player has kind of openly wrote about it on Facebook, and it has been picked up by different online, some magazines, or how do you say, but so it was even about my coach, about the person who I was working very closely with. Luckily for me, nothing happened, but so you never know, and it just has to be treated kind of seriously. It happens, and we gotta create just a support system.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mike, my friend and moderator, has the question. Can I ask you about if you were involved, or if you are involved, maybe you know someone who is involved with UCU's Women's Commission, or do you think, what do you think of their work? Maybe they should, let's say, act on that in a more, let's say, extensive manner.
Yes, thank you for the question. So I'm not sure about the ECU's, the Women's Commission. I do know the chair of the FIDE Women's Commission, Anastasia Sorokina. She actually lives in Poland as well, and she's a strong player. She's a coach, and she has done, many great things in this commission. Last year there was this project, and she and Dana Reznic-Zozola, who I mentioned, who is a chair of FIDE management board, they were traveling all around the world, creating tournaments for small girls, and talking very much about this, that there are many other also opportunities for girls in chess. It's not only being a professional player, which I think is important, because we cannot all be professional players. It's, it's just not possible. But you can be a coach, an arbiter, a commentator, you can be organizer, you can be even in a fair play, many different fields in chess as well. So you can be a lot of those things, and it's a fun game, which is just going to be a great adventure for you, kind of in that way. And they were going all over the world. I think this is good, and the kids, the girls can see those ladies that are already very accomplished, simply people, not only chess players. So that's good. And I know that they also do many things in terms of this social project. I think this is great thing about chess and social projects. There are chess in prisons, which has been a great project. There are chess for people with disabilities. There are chess for people with autism. Those are things that I am also passionate about, and they're also, working together with that. So, there are many great initiatives that are being taken care of. But I think for sure some things are lacking, like what we said, this harassment, probably it should be taken care of. I know that it is being prepared, but I just think, this should be already done, because it's too late, but it's not so easy, of course. So it's easy for me to say, but I know that it's not like one person can do something instantly, but hopefully things will be moving into the correct direction as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And the question about the kids, because I just asked the question with the women and kids, but now let's just focus exclusively about the kids. How can we support kids and especially encourage more kids, no matter the gender, to enjoy chess, to learn chess, to show the qualities of chess, and have the, let's say, the community about parents, about teachers, about organizers, all of this one, but especially focus for the youngest players? What should be done?
Yeah, I think, my story is the example, kind of like how I was as a kid, but maybe it's, because I experienced that. And so this is what I think is correct. But I think main thing is fun, main thing, you have to, again, create this nice space for kids where they can just explore the fun game of chess and not think about performance or results that much. It just has to be a fun, safe place where kids can just have fun with each other. They can also socialize with chess. So this is very important. And I think educating coaches, again, also educating parents a little bit, because some parents are, probably you have experienced it yourself. They have some ambitions that they haven't managed to realize them themselves fully, but now they have this kid that is so talented. Every parent thinks their kid is talented. I also think about my kid, that my kid is talented, but you cannot expect anything from your kid, really. I don't think so. As just be a good kid, be kind. Maybe that should be like the basic expectation, but it's kind of coming with the way we raise kids, but not performance-wise. This is, and sometimes this is very difficult. Also, as a coach, dealing with the parents who punish their kids for bad results, who expect their kids to perform well, who think that after 1 hour per week of training, they should already, after a few weeks, to play like
grandmasters.
Like grandmasters, or be the best. But as I said, I was working 6 hours a week with a coach and myself, and still coach was coming for 2-3 days a month. That was a lot, but also we cannot have everything that we want from 1 hour. So you just gotta be realistic and not expect. So I think some maybe trainings for parents could be, not even trainings, but like something, not so official, but just for the parents to be aware. I think
maybe educating parents to understand that chess is a global, not to get too much unrealistic expectations, right?
Yeah, with many kids, many things. I think also for me as a parent now, my son, as I said, he trains tennis, he goes for tournaments. I think it would also be quite difficult for me to understand this whole world if I wasn't part of the chess world. And I wouldn't just understand that how kids, especially when they're small, perform doesn't really matter. You really have to build your basics, and you have to just have passion and the correct way of studying. And, some coaches also teach like, little tricks here and there that are gonna give some points, but they don't really teach the kids, the correct way of growing. So those kids will win here and there a couple of games, but as soon as they start to play with someone better, the results are gone and the parents are again frustrated. So it's a kind of complicated world. So if parents maybe are just a little bit calmer and chiller about that, and kids usually will also benefit from it.
Okay, thank you very much. Sebastian has the question about example where sometimes your performance or reactivity is going down, even if you are working, I assume at least that you are working hard, but you are not getting the, let's say, expected results or the results that you think you should have right now. Can you give your experience? How did you manage this, for example?
Well, it's basically often like that. It's more often that you are not going to get the results you want than that you are going to get the results you want. Because if it was so easy, then, everybody would just be getting those good results. But the trick is, I think, just being patient. And for example, even for me, as I mentioned, when I was 10, I got this good FIDE, ELO, and And I went for this Polish championship thinking that I will just crash them all, and that didn't happen at all. I don't know. I didn't get a medal. Anyways, it doesn't matter what place I got, but I didn't get a medal, and that was sad. And here we could already
And how did you manage this? How did you overcome it?
I mean, as a kid, it's different, but you know, even from parents' perspective, but still, you can think as a kid, oh, so I'm not so good, and so on. But here, just kind of understanding that you are in the process. It's a long process. So
it's a marathon, not just a sprint. Is it correct?
Exactly. You cannot put ever, I think, everything on one tournament. And I know that for some people, I know it's expensive. So sometimes you might think, okay, but how long can I, you know, do it? It's
and
enough.
Invest because it's money as well, right?
Yes, exactly. It is expensive. But I think the only solution really is to understand that the results might not come when we think they should. They want probably. And you just have to be ready and just put in the correct work. So this is very important, the correct work, just building very strong fundamentals. Being ready also for this work, like mentally, you have to understand that this is gonna take time. And it will not come so easily. So just being patient, as you said, being ready that this is a long run kind of thing, what we are doing. For a chess player, it's usually like this, that you get some good results and then bad results. For me also, when I was this 10 years old, then I got this good rating. And then for 2 years, I think, you guys can check on my FIDE profile, but I think for 2 years, I haven't improved my rating at all almost. So again, it might be hard. And also that was the case when I was trying to get 2300. I was like 2299.
Very close.
I was like frustrated. I was going crazy, like what's going on? And you need 2300. Back then I was active and I was hoping I would quickly get my VGM title, or at least, you know, getting closer to it. So I really wanted this 2300 rating and I couldn't get it. And it was multiple tournaments. And then finally, I just relaxed and we went with my husband to Spain for a couple of months. We were playing chess. I was pregnant actually already at that point. And that was when I crossed my 2300 rating without any issues. So you just have to really trust the process, that if you are putting the correct amount of work, the results are going to come. But you cannot really predict when they are going to come. You just have to keep going, keep pushing, maybe change something here and there, but not too much, because if you're putting the correct work, then they should come. But you know, maybe you can just alter something, maybe focus a bit on some other stuff like sleep. Maybe some people also say that sometimes it's worth to try to learn something else, like a music instrument or a language. Just kind of your brain would not be just stuck on just chess, but still you kind of work. Maybe some sport, adding, you know, physical activity usually helps. You just gotta trust the stupid process that's gonna be painful and annoying.
yeah, sometimes it happens. By the way, if you can give us your, let's say, name of the channel, because my moderator would like to shout out for giving some of the recognition for you. Is it Anna Kantane?
I think it's now has been added. Wait, because I have to follow, so I am following.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Oh yes, WIM Anna Kantane. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay.
And if you can, Mike, give a shout out. And the last question, maybe a little bit private one, but at least I guess we'll be having a little bit insight into the other type of, let's say, questions, not the technical one. Probably, if I'm not mistaken, your husband is a grandmaster, Toms Kantane, right? And
his name is different, so his surname finishes with S, so he's Toms Kantans. Because like in Poland, we have different endings for male or females, and in Latvia it's the same case.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much. And the question about him and you with the relationship of chess related. Does your husband help you with chess? How much, and if you work together? Just a question about chess.
Nowadays not. Nowadays, of course, well, I don't play chess. So that's the problem, sad reality. I mean, I played 2 or 3 tournaments this year, and he helped a little bit with the preparation, just here and there. At the beginning, he was very helpful. He was helping me a lot, but mainly with the openings. So he was kind of like a coach, you could say, just giving me some ideas or ready files of the openings. So he also helped me in a couple of important tournaments, like World Championship Under 20, or later in some Polish championships when I was getting my women grandmaster norm. He was very helpful, in terms of openings. Other than that, nothing. Many people ask us whether we play together at home. No, I don't think we have ever played together at home.
Oh, never?
No, I don't think, not a single time, guys. Wow. So I think also, okay, we did study for some time. We had a couple of weeks of some motivation, but it was a long time ago. So we studied together a little bit, but we really do things separately. We are both kind of individual, and we both work from home, so we can't do too much together because you just gotta have a break, right? To keep it healthy. But yes, we both try to support each other. You know, even I sometimes, and he's in some place where he plays, I don't know, a double round, and he needs to prepare. I check something on my computer, so of course we support each other. But it's not like many people.
Yeah, many people imagine that if you have the chess players, let's say family, for example, women and men, they are just working every time non-stop, right? They are just having such a unrealistic, let's say, dreams.
No. Even when my husband, he used to work on some openings, at home, but from books. There is this snaggy, very good book repertoire. He did it completely alone. I was not at all, included in the process.
You didn't have the access to the database.
No, I do actually.
Oh, you do?
So there are some perks of having a grandmaster husband. No. But we do things like that separately.
Okay, and the last question, because we'll be wrapping up in 3 to 4 minutes, I would like to ask you about YouTube, about podcasts, other social media in general, and your plans as, let's say, getting into the community a little bit deeper, if you have any in the near future.
I have.
If you can share, of course, if you can share.
Yes, so as I said, this time is all the time the issue. I would love to get first of all stable Twitch streaming on Twitch, kind of like a schedule, and then also creating content for YouTube, a bit longer videos and shorter videos for Instagram and maybe TikTok. But I am kind of oldish already in terms of TikTok. Is kind of, I don't even have an app. I just know it exists, and I know that kind of short fan content can go well there. So this is something I have to deep in further. But I have just bought an iPhone. So guys, I am ready because of course it has a better camera. So for the content creation, this was my step. And so I hope I will find, especially from the New Year's time, for some content creation ideas. So keep your fingers crossed. Main thing, of course, time. Thank you so much.
And are you planning some collaborations, let's say either with the Polish chess streamers, Polish grandmasters, maybe the foreign grandmasters streamers? Do you have any ideas about the future collaborations? You are up to this one, or maybe not yet?
Of course, I am up for that, but I haven't talked with anyone. I don't have a clear idea because...
Some of the names, let's say Mateusz Bartel, Polish Grandmaster, probably know him, Mati Bar. At the same time, David Czerw, very active because he's the Chess.com, let's say, moderator. And there are others who are just pretty active, let's say Tomasz Jaskółka. There are some other guys who are pretty popular. They were just streaming for, let's say, 3 to 4 years. And I guess they will be pretty much happy to have the collaboration with you because it will expand the community. That's my guess.
Yeah, of course, for me it is, but I kind of have this feeling such collaborations, it's nice when they are natural, because otherwise I am just starting in terms of streaming, so I don't really have much to offer to them.
But so by the way, you have a lot of experience, therefore this is very important. You have been playing a lot of chess, you have been participating in a lot of tournaments, you are a commentator, therefore I guess you have a lot of, maybe you do not have 2000 hours streaming as thinker teacher, but you have a different perks, if I can say.
Thank you. Perhaps, it will be something to think about when I get more regular. But for now, I just kind of want to take care of my viewers, the people who already invested time to support me, and kind of try to keep it more natural, not just get into collaboration to grow my channel simply, to grow it, but something happens naturally for sure. Some nice ideas are created. Certainly, I am up for that. So hopefully those will simply naturally come when I am more regular and so on. But for now, I also have, a normal event coming up, actually. So in 3 days, I'm going to Poland for a Radzikowska Memorial. And
Excellent.
this is one of those women, festivals.
Are you going to be a commentator at this event?
I am part of the organizing team.
Organizing team. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so actually, my husband, he is going to be English commentator. We are actually collaborating with many people, including them. There is Mati Bar.
Excellent.
We have some couple. Mariancello is also going to be included with, of course, Polish Chess Federation. So we have, I think, 5 or 6 content creators that we are collaborating with to make event, just
professional.
More well, it is professional, but just more widely seen.
Maybe
also
extensive
online.
to the online world.
Yes, and Polish national women, not national, but like 5, top players from Poland, those who could come, are playing with the rest of the world team. So this is, a fun event. I will be also doing some content there, some marketing stuff. And this is also something I love. But yeah, some collaborations which you asked about are also there. For example, with Grandmaster Mateusz Bartel. Those kind of things are also important because over-the-board events and creating opportunities for the players. Also, there will be organized individual Polish championship in Rapid for women and some Blades tournaments for everybody. So just different things, and hopefully I will be able also to create some content from there. So we'll see. But yeah, many interesting things coming up, and hopefully maybe we'll also see you somewhere in some of those. Not only online events, do you don't come?
No, I do not play any longer over-the-board events. Therefore, I quit 5 years ago. Therefore, it's impossible. Online, yes, but over-the-board, absolutely no. And if you can wrap up the interview, because I am pretty curious about one last, let's say, summary. If you would have the message to the online community, I mean, especially online, not over-the-board, but online community, overall, what would be this message to improve our, let's say, community, to make it better, make it expanding? What is your, let's say, idea, message, if you can share with us?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
The last one.
Difficult for the end in that case. Well, I think online chess community is doing rather well, so maybe just some places, but I know that they are appearing slowly, that can be kind of a little bit more globally connecting people, where you can actually maybe get some little bit deeper connections. But I think those things are also appearing slowly. So considering that it's also only like 3 really or 4 years that the community has been like really actively growing, I think it's fine. And again, I think just being kind and not I guess judging content creators also too quickly, being understanding. It's always something that we need to be mindful of, but I believe most of the people in the chess community are so I think we are doing well. Okay. Hopefully, I hope so.
I keep fingers crossed. I guess chess community, Twitch especially, I see most of the viewers, most of the commentators are either positive or neutral. Just a tiny of bit can be mean, can be cruel, can be some like negative, but it is not that much, at least from my experience.
Yeah, so let's hope it's the experience of most, and if not, then, well, they should follow the advice. Then in that case, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for being our guest. Thank you very much for all of the experience that you shared with us, all of the knowledge, all of the ideas, and all of the plans for the future. We are keeping fingers crossed on you, and we are wishing you very the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, best wishes to you. Thank you for having me. All the best to the viewers, and I guess good luck with the further interviews, because you have been inviting some great guests. So hopefully it's going to be growing this project and your Twitch. So Thank you so much again for having me, and have a great evening to you and to everybody.
Thank you very much. The same to you. Take care and see you.